Welcome to MFS. Today I'll be introducing the dispatchers to this app and how for them to be able to route customers to the drivers while they're out in the field. One of the first thing I want to go over is going into administration and yard location. Every yard that is in your system, there is a spot where you can go in and select and have a permanent code in the system for that customer. So let's take for example a gate code. And how I did that again is going into administration, instead of clicking on where it says customer and it shows you everything, please note what the customer account number is and go ahead and just select it from the top menu. That will then bring everything in. Go down to your notes, type your notes in, and go ahead and save. So that area right there, the drop location, allow you to put notes in that is permanent for that customer. Okay, let's move on to setting up a pickup from your rack. I kind of pre-did one, so here we go. So for example, you already select the date. I select the date, right? Select the date, select the truck, select the rack that you're going to from the drop-down list, select your driver. And if you'll notice, I already had done a selection from him from this supplier from the drop-down. Same thing from here, selecting the product from the drop-down, whatever compartment, doesn't matter, just select one. The amount of fuel that you're passing him to load onto this truck, a time. Moving on to the next product, so also again selecting the supplier, the product, and one of the compartments, the amount of fuel, and kind of try to keep the time different from the previous one. Also, you're going to be hitting add over here, just like here, and then moving on. So if I had selected another product, I unlet it, another compartment, 500, selecting a time when I'm thinking that I want, right after, in a sense, just something after that previous load. Clicking on add, now we've just added that to his pickup. Go ahead and hit save. Alright, now we're going to move on to where the dispatcher is going to be picking orders for our customers for the day for that truck. So here we are, we select route setup. You're going to go down to manage route. So happen that okay, I'm going to hit new, then the zone, the driver, the truck. And what it did, it just actually found one that we already did. Always make sure it's active. So I already did that one, so I just want to add to that one. We come down to setup and view daily delivers. And here is from a drop-down list. I already had selected these two. I gave it a start time, the amount that I wanted him to pick up. Okay, and then I came over here and I add new. I'll do the same thing with this other customer. By the way, if you notice, as your company grows, you may have multiple of, take for example, of say Starbucks, and Starbucks on Culver Street, Starbucks on Adams Street. What you could do, just by hovering over, you'll be able to see the addresses of each Starbucks, so that will help you to be able to pick the correct one. So anyway, we're going to select this next customer. We go ahead and select the date and time. Okay. And then we can go ahead and say, you know what, we're planning on giving this customer 100 gallons an estimate. Also, as I said, if you planning on is a customer that you go weekly, but this week you want to give the driver a little note to say, nudge him to say, look, customer would like for us to show up 30 minutes earlier than last week. You know, we could maybe just type that in here, allowing okay. Go ahead and accept. If you notice, this turns red to let you know a note was added to that customer. I'm going to hit save, and okay, it disappeared into the background. I'm going to go back to administration now, and making sure that I am on the date of 21st. And right away, you'll notice that Jesse on the main page of the administration, if it's on the right date, you'll notice that Jesse has 3 yards that we assign him to. If we actually click on it, it brings up and show you that we are sending him to the 3 yards, the time, and everything that we have planned for him for him to go there. What will happen here is as soon as he finished the first stop, that will become published on the screen. You'll be able to see that one of the order will be completed, and 2 would be incompleted as he goes along here. Okay, so this is one area that you can see the activities of what you've routed, okay, and what is pending in return. There's another screen that I also provide. It gives the dispatcher a kind of feel of what the driver sees, and I'll take you over to that now. So the dispatcher will log in just the same way that the same way that the drivers log in with their own 4-digit PIN. So by logging in as a dispatcher, you're seeing all the routes that was created for today. Okay, so here you're able to see what the drivers see on his screen, and this is how he sees where, okay, the first rack, he opens it up, you see the amount that you gave him, 2,000 to load. He's going to enter the BOL number and the amount of gallon that he's supposed to collect, and hit save on his screen, and we'll get to maybe bring that up in a little bit here. So again, different product that you gave him, 500, remember we just did that one, the 500 gallons. He's going to come in, enter that BOL and the amount for him to get started. So again, this is what the driver sees. He sees the customer that you're sending him to, the product that you asked him to deliver, okay, and you'll go, as we go on, you'll see more of what, but this is the basic of what kind of lay out for you, the dispatcher, to see, okay, this is what I've routed this Jesse, okay. So another feature in here, as he's completing his route, a dispatcher can also come in here and see the same status of how many gallons he pumped into each yard. But as I said, that is also is given to you on this page. If you keep this page up, you can monitor and see as your drivers complete each yard. It will actually then be displayed on this screen, showing you the complete order and the incomplete one that is left, and the amount will actually be showing up on this page. And I will eventually show you an active customer that is with active files coming in. But let's go back over to the screen. So this is what the dispatcher sees. but I want to log in as Jesse and his PIN, and Jesse logs in. Jesse sees the truck that we assigned him to. First, what he's going to be doing is doing what we call a driver login. And as I'm speaking to you right now, I am actually connecting to a computer. And what the driver is supposed to hear, and this is something that I want all dispatchers to learn and help for these drivers, if somehow it slips them in them learning and understanding the system. They must, before they move on to doing anything else, it says, please log in before proceeding. So by clicking on that, the computer responds. Every time they click on that, on this button, the computer must respond. So that's, again, if it's not responding, it could be that they're not really truly connected to the Wi-Fi, and they may be connecting through another way of getting to the internet. But if they're truly connected to the truck, every time they click on driver login, the computer should make that sound in the background as you're hearing. Let's moving on to start route. And this is what Jesse sees. He actually can configure whatever meter on his truck, or meter 1 or meter 2. He can determine what he's planning on pumping off. He has the selection right there to select from. We haven't started anything yet, but again, the same thing. As he starts, you'll see he himself can see his status of how many gallons he pumped into each yard as he goes along. We also provide them stuff like break time, which they don't really use for DOT purposes, to show that they can take a break. If they want to flush from one product to the next, they just click on that and click on that product, and that will actually authorize the flush or transfer for them. All right, so again, dispatchers, back to what you've actually assigned him. You see, you've assigned him to go to that rack and pick up that product. Now, this is what I was saying. This is where he's going to type in a BOL number, repeat that BOL number to make sure it's right, and the amount that he's picking up from the refinery, 2,000, and hit save. Once he does that, that goes over to the computer, and the computer should respond. If you notice that numbers of the BOL did not match, because of course I was just playing around there. I didn't put the right thing in, so it actually spits it out. 1, 2, 3, and a 6. Hit and save, and there you go. You actually hear the computer in the background accepting that BOL and that amount into the system. Okay, and the same thing will go for each one of these other products that that you have actually assigned him to pick up for his truck. Okay, he goes to his first yard. Once he gets to his first yard, again, these are the stops you assign him, 1, 2, and 3. He gets to that first stop. All he's going to be doing is logging in. You have the computer respond every time he moves on. It responds. So again, log into that yard and it respond. Now, if he was going to do multiple transactions, this is where the barcode or the scanner will come in. He will then go out to each truck, scan the barcode, and fuel each vessel as he goes along. If he's just doing a tank, what we have done here is just a shortcut where a bulk delivers. Those drivers can just hit this bubble below tank. What it does, it creates a barcode on the fly, turning on the system in the background, and now the drivers can just go out there without scanning anything, squeezing the nozzle, and the product will be flowing. And once he's finished with that, he's going down to either printing or getting a signature from that customer. The driver can also add a note on his end to say, came early, but gate was locked. And again, saving that, now dispatchers and management staff will see that that back live, right back on. We'll see that live back on their end. Okay. So let's. I guess we can close it. Again, this is one thing that the driver sees. Is this you find a yard on your route? Say no, because you may have more. At that point, it prints a single copy for him. And now that information is off to the server as he's, pulling his hose up and getting ready to leave that facility for the day. So again, as he finished that one, he closed out that yard or select another yard. Once he gets there, he's doing the same thing all over again, which is start the yard. Once he starts that yard, he goes down and either click the button to start or scan that product. In the background, I heard the printer actually spit out a confirmation that information went to the over to the server. So what would happen on that screen as he's finished, the dispatcher can actually see each transaction or when each yard is completed. And I'm just going to give a taste of a live feed of a client that has information that is coming back in. So here we are. So this was is the stops that they were given to him, and as you notice, the different stops that came back in, and just so happened one was incomplete. But right here on that chart, you're able to see as a dispatcher what you routed and what is complete and what is not complete, the gallons that was delivered, what trucks delivered what. That is something that is on your dashboard for you to see. So getting the cap, we go into is the rack, and we set the rack. Once we set the rack, we hit save. We come over to route setup. Okay, and we go first to manage. Then after we manage, we make sure we select everything that we're supposed to select. Come over and hit active. If it's not, make sure active is always hit. You go down to the custom, the one that you created. And there it is. Okay. Another thing that I wanted to show you is, we said manage, but we went down to setup. We skipped manage and view. Inside the view, a dispatcher, if you notice, there is like a mirror of the page. Whatever you're seeing over on the left, it's also over on the right. What we have done here is, if the two drivers is out and you want to give one of the other trucks or one of the other driver a delivery from the other driver, all you need to do is just grab that information and bring it over and drop it, as I said, drop on this line only. And now what you just did was you moved one customer from Jesse over to Samuel, just like that. Okay. So again, just to prove it, once we refresh Jesse's route, Jesse should only see 2. Remember, he had 3 prior. Now he only has 2 because we took away 1. Another thing, if you'll notice, because he had added, he inputted the rack information for this product, it turned from this color to green, letting you know, also let him know that he already actually fulfilled the order for that. Okay, I think that's it in a nutshell. Hopefully this helps to understand how to route to the driver. I think before I wrap up, I wanted to also create an order that can happen. Take for example, someone from management, a salesperson or so, in the background create an order on their own. Okay, and what they did was they came in on the back end and they created an order from another page here. Okay, and so they came in and they created an order for 500. Let's say 500 of red. Okay, 500 of red. Okay, and I'm then going to hit save. Just want to show you what would happen. So in the background, did I do everything right? God knows I did this and I came here 500. That's it. Oh, it's already here of red. Okay, so let's see if anything changed on the main page when I get over back to route setup. Okay, that's exactly what I want to see. If you notice over to the right, it shows an assigned order of 1. If someone other than the dispatcher create orders from that page, the dispatcher, this is your page. This is what you're normally seeing. And if you're seeing all of a sudden a 1 here or 2 or something, someone from sales or so actually came in the back end and added something to your page. What you could do is, again, going in, so you know what, I am going to add that to that truck that Jesse was driving. So I'm just going to select that truck that Jesse was driving. So now I bring it back up. I retrieved it. Okay, I'm going to go in and I'm going to look at what they gave me. Okay, sales rep Robert Jarrett says, hey, we need 500 gallons to be delivered also. So we select that. Well, we already select the truck. And what we're going to do now is go down to setup. We're going to then pull that information and add it to Jesse's route by just clicking on add from selected on assign. See, we just brought this 500 gallons in to his route. Go ahead and hit save. This information now is posted for Jesse. Okay, going back over to Jesse, if we just refresh somewhere here on this page. Oh, sorry. So what inside? Yes. So it wasn't a new yard I created. I created as a new product that needs to be delivered. So before it was just the unleaded that was going to be delivered to that yard, but it could be a new yard altogether. But just to get the same understanding, what that sales rep did was said, look, here's the red. that red needs to be also be added to this route. And now that red, the driver now refresh and realize that red is also being pulled in from, say, a sales or the owner or wherever who took that call and put that in the backhand for you. Once you see that showing up again in red on a sign, see, it's totally gone now. But before, it was sitting at the top saying, on a sign, one, or whatever amount of customers or whatever that was added and that needed to be added for you to add to your drivers. That's it. Thank you for your time.